Okay, I wanted to talk to you a little bit today on picking the perfect type of place to reside in, where you just know you're going to make the right choice before you make an international move. Out here on the beautiful Greenway next to the golf course here in St. Kitts. There's so many questions that come up when people make international moves, and I see so many people, they look at some of the videos I've got, but what they don't do is they really don't write this stuff down. And then what happens is they end up making a really bad choice, when they're selecting their, wherever they're going to go. And I'll tell you some things that I would be looking for, and I would be writing these down. And that is, if you're like me, these are the things I look for when I go and want to get a residency. And I did this actually before I left. The problem was I didn't do any consultations, and I ended up finding out stuff that Panama that wasn't what I wanted, that wasn't in these newsletters and stuff. And you end up making these trips, and man, it's costly when you get all your stuff and make an international move. In fact, the first thing I would tell you is, if you're thinking about doing an international move, the first thing I would tell you is don't get on a lease. Go to a place, not for 2 or 3 weeks, but go month to month, and take your wife with you, because I'm going to tell you, if she doesn't like it, or your husband, or whatever, if you're married, it's a lot easier doing this if you're single though, that person needs to come with you. Otherwise, your life's going to be hell if you try to bring somebody overseas that doesn't want to go. And I will tell you this, these are some things that you really need to think about. Is if you're married and your wife is not, or your husband, whoever, maybe is not totally on board, if you make that international move, you could have a real problem, okay? This is why I tell people you need to get counseling with husband and wife before you make international moves like this, because I'm going to tell you, it's not just the international move that's costly, but going through a divorce can be really expensive. And I've seen a lot of people go through divorces when they do international moves, especially if the wife has children from another marriage, because usually it's the guy that wants to make the move more so than the woman, although it can be both of you. But the reason is, usually the guy makes more money than the woman in most cases, and he's more concerned with the tax issues maybe than she is. And what happens is, it's like he's going there for financial reasons, but then she's looking at her kids that are living back in the States or Canada or whatever, and then she knows she's not going to see them that much, as much as, if they were in the backyard. And so these are some things, if you don't think about this, you're going to find this out later, and it can be some real problems. So you need to get both on board when you're doing this. And like I said, if you're single, man, it makes it a lot easier to do it. Not telling you to break up if you're married, but I'm saying if you're on the sidelines and you're thinking about getting married, but you want to go international, you better make sure your girlfriend or boyfriend is on board 100% before you start making that international move. And I would be overseas with them for a while before you end up making the plunge, because there's a lot of things that you have to get used to, language issues, all kinds of labor issues and stuff, setting up a new business. And Panama, as I've mentioned before, has some wacko labor laws that were instituted by Omar Torrijos, which was the dictator that was there before Noriega. And he put in some real socialistic policies for labor laws. They're actually worse than the U.S. I'm not going to get in a lot of detail, but they never have changed them. And you're really better off outsourcing if you go to a place like Panama anyway. But I'm going to tell you today, I would steer away from places that you're thinking about getting a residency, that you cannot get a second passport without relinquishing your other passports. And Panama does not allow dual citizenship. And I've told people before that, I see a lot of people go to Panama, and they don't think about stuff that they should have thought about ahead of time. All right, now these are some things that I would be looking for when you're trying to, you really should write this stuff down, because if you're like me, you're going to forget this stuff. Some things you should be looking for is, don't move to a country, if you're like me, that's going to tax you on your worldwide income. So in other words, if the country does not allow either a territorial tax system or pure tax haven status or a non-dom program tax system where they only tax you on remitted income, don't go there. Just scratch everybody else off, okay? The second thing I would do is, if the country doesn't allow dual citizenship, don't go there. Just scratch them off. And then pick the countries where you speak the language, unless you're willing to learn that other language. And there's a lot of countries in Central America, people go there and they find out they can't work in a business because they have to be a citizen there. And then they find out they don't allow dual citizenship, like Honduras, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. These are countries that don't allow dual citizenship. They allow it for very special, I always get bombarded when I say this, but they allow dual citizenship only with certain countries in Central America. And I'm talking about Nicaragua and Honduras. Panama doesn't allow, to my knowledge, with any country. And then Spain, I think they allow, that is a country outside of the Central America they allow. But as a general rule, you're going to have to relinquish your other passport citizenships to get a second passport in that country, like Honduras, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, okay? And if you're not willing to do that, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, don't pick that residency program to begin with. I'll tell you a better alternative. Why not go in a place like Ecuador or Belize? Belize doesn't have, that's an English-speaking country. They allow dual citizenship. These are some places that you might want to consider. I like Barbados. It has a non-dom system. You can literally live there tax-free. Same number of visa-free countries that you can go to as a St. Kitts passport. English-speaking. Get your taxes to zero. It's got all these pieces of the pie. Ireland's another one if you can deal with the weather. Non-dom system. You have to check off the non-dom box on your tax form, and you're taxed on remitted income. So you could literally live there tax-free. 5th best passport in the world. But you're going to have to deal with the weather there. These countries are some of the worst countries I see people going to, and they wake up one day and they find out they made a mistake, is Colombia, Mexico, Turkey, countries that heavily tax you on your worldwide income if you live there. Why do you want to jump from one fire to another? But I see people doing this all the time. They leave a high tax country, they jump to another one, and they say, oh, the government here is pretty slack. They won't check on things. But why do you do that? Why do you pick stuff like that? Why not go to a country that legally allows you not to pay income taxes? To me, all you're doing is you're throwing yourself in a dog trap. You know, pick the countries that go by the laws that you like. Mark all the other ones off. You know, I have some of these libertarians, man, that they're just, everything is, they're against the government so much, they do stupid things. My suggestion is make sure you stick by the laws and pick what you like and write it down before you make that international move. And these are the things that you want to be doing. I like St. Kitts because it checks all the boxes. No income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. A property tax is 0.20% on the properties you're buying with a $29,600 US exclusion. Before that 0.20% kicks in, you pay almost no taxes at all on property tax. Another thing too is Panama has a 2% property tax. They do have exclusions the first few years depending on the type of property, but then they hit you with a whopping 2% per year. That's a lot. You know, that's $20,000 a year on $1 million property. Why pay that, okay? And why go there to begin with if they don't allow dual citizenship? And then you have to learn that foreign language. I'm telling you things, these are negatives you want to stay away from, okay? I saw a guy the other day promoting Colombia, Mexico, and not one thing came up on the tax laws there, which just baffles me. I'm thinking, most of the people listening to me today, that's probably either at the top of your list or close to the top of your list. So why would you want to pick a country that has all these ridiculous tax laws that you don't like? To me, it doesn't make sense. Skip those, okay? Most countries in South America are going to have bad tax laws, okay? Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, or how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. We got over 700 videos. Number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay, Brazil's another bad one. If you're going there and you like socialism, perfect place to go, okay? But Brazil's going to tax the daylights out of you, okay? Chile's going to do the same thing. Both of these countries tax worldwide income. Most of your countries in South America are going to have bad taxes. Ecuador's pretty good. They have a territorial tax system there, okay? But some of these other countries there just are not good for, you know, for the type of system you want. Venezuela taxes worldwide income. That's a basket case there anyway. I wouldn't be going there. The crime rate is horrendous. There's practically no government there. It's a mess. It's maybe not as bad as Somalia, but it's pretty close to it. I would avoid Venezuela at all costs. Maybe one day it will change and they will come out with a good system there, do away with their income tax and have someone that's not corrupt. That's going to be pretty difficult to get in the market they're in right now. But these are countries I would stay away from, okay? So, you know, these are, Venezuela is not a good choice. It's getting a little bit dark here. It's almost about 6 o'clock during the daytime here, so it's dimming down gradually here. This is a citizenship by investment development here too called Ocean's Edge. Got beautiful homes overlooking the ocean on a hilltop, and very pretty here. So, you know, I've done other videos on the best residency countries to get residency in, and they've got a lot of this stuff weeded out. These are the best residency programs in the world by Citizenship Quickly. And I've taken taxes, I've taken all these different things like dual citizenship, you know, English speaking, and you want to be able to get the citizenship in a pretty good reasonable amount of time. But these are some things that you need to be looking at, and the ones that I told you to avoid. And the reason I tell you to avoid those countries, if you ever decide to set up a business in those countries, they're going to give rights to a lot of cases to citizens. And if you are there long enough to qualify for citizenship, like Mexico, Colombia, you know, Turkey, unless you go with a fast track program with Turkey, but even when you go with a fast track, you're still going to have to, if you're there, you know, usually it's over 183 days a year, they're going to tax you on your worldwide income. So those are not good choices tax-wise. That's why I would never get a fast-track program in Turkey to begin with. And you don't have visa-free travel to the Schengen countries anyway, so why would you want to pick that passport? To me, I just can't figure out why people want that passport, okay? And it might pick up a few countries you might not get from St. Kitts, but look at the number of countries you can travel to with a St. Kitts passport versus Turkey. No comparison. A lot more with St. Kitts. It's just no comparison at all. And of course, the weather here is so nice all year round. Man, the views up here just knock your eyes out. You know, if you're going to get a fast track program, I would get it in St. Kitts first. And then what I would be doing is picking maybe another country that allows dual citizenship. You can live there tax-free, real good visa-free travel. I like Barbados. It has visa-free travel to Canada. Has the same number of visa-free countries that St. Kitts does at 162. That are visa-free or visa-free on arrival. These are the things that you want to be looking for. Dual citizenship, English speaking, that's the main language. Now, like I said, they've got a, when I say territorial, they have a non-dom system for Barbados, which means that they tax you on remitted income. If you don't remit it, they don't tax you on it. And the tax system, once you get citizenship on the non-dom status, doesn't change as long as you've got a passport citizenship from another country that you got before you got your Barbados passport. And that's your domicile, not Barbados. That's how you get around that, okay? So these are some things that I think you will be glad that you made choices on, because citizenship is always going to give you these rights to work in a business that you might not be able to do if you don't have citizenship. So it's going to cause a lot of trouble in trying to get things accomplished and done if you can't get citizenship and passport in that country. So always be looking to do that when you make these decisions. All right, these are the views up here in Frigate Bay. Actually, I'm going towards the Southeast Peninsula, looking over Frigate Bay here. As I mentioned before, I've done other videos. This is the best place to live. If you come to St. Kitts, it's close to the grocery stores. Great places to walk. I'm walking up this hill that goes up to the Southeast Peninsula. Really good hiking. There's another good place that you can go to. It's up on a hilltop here. It's Timothy Beach Mountain. And the views up there are just incredible. I've done another video on that. And so you can live in Frigate Bay right over here, and then you can look up and take walks up this hilltop. This is real good exercise for you. And there are hilltops too on the other side in Half Moon Bay, which is behind and next to Frigate Bay. And you can go here, and then you can also play golf, tennis. Marriott's got real good tennis courts. You can go sailing, snorkeling, all kinds of exercises that you can do all year long outside. That's the neat thing about it. And most countries you can't do that with. Okay, folks, if you want to learn more on this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. Just ask for some help. I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Over 700 videos. This is where you pick up really good tips before you make that international move. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.